You need to shut the fuck up.
Hey, motherfuckers. This is Minx. Suck my balls.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right. Just doing your noble warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
Codman!
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tied Up Tuesday. My name is Minx. Down there is Great Cloud. We've got Owl on the line and Spanky. What's up, you guys?
What's up?
Ugh.
What's up?
I'm fucking. Ugh. So, as a few of you guys may know, I had surgery yesterday. What are you pouring over there, Great Cloud?
Some Basil Hayden's. Because you can't enjoy any, so I'll have some for you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm here for you.
Dick. No, it's fine though, cause like I'm high as a motherfucker on narcotics right now.
They give you anything good?
Vicodin 10s.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
So, right? Well, no, those are from the ER that I got on Friday. Like, I still got those. And then my surgeon gave me Vicodin 5s.
That's not as good.
Right? Yeah, it's not as good, but fucking hell.
Everybody wants Minx high.
Right? Hello, I'm high. Fuck. So I had that kidney stone that was found on Friday. I had that bitch evicted yesterday. I like cornered my the urologist that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't corner him. So Mondays I do feet. So I was telling my podiatrist, like, oh, I've got this fucking kidney stone. I was going to talk to, the urologist about it today to see if he can, put me in as an add-on. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, let me text him right now. I was like, yes. So we were in the middle of our first case, and the urologist, like, pokes his head in. He's like, all right, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want it out. I want it out now. I was like, it hurts. I want it out. The last time I had a kidney stone, it took 6 months for it to even get down to the bladder. And even then, we still had to go in and surgically remove it. I was like, I want it out now. And he's like, when was the last time you ate or drank anything? I said, before midnight last night. I was like, I am NPO. I'm ready for surgery. Like,
cut me now, bitches.
Yeah, so pretty much. So I worked yesterday. I did all of my cases in podiatry. And then from there, I went to my hospital's registration and I registered as a patient. And I was like, hey, I'm here for surgery.
I guess it can work that way.
Yeah, and so it was great because I know exactly the procedure that happened to me. I knew exactly where some of my coworkers were going to be looking, aka my vag, and because that's how you get to the bladders, through the urethra. And where is that on females? Right in the vag. So I grabbed a skin marker and I started writing on my inner thighs. Notes to everyone who's going to be in the room.
Do not stab me in the thigh.
No, I was like, hey, everyone. Thanks for your help.
Only you, Minx.
I drew a heart and a smiley face.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I went there.
So many ways to go with that one. But we'll leave it alone because.
And then I had an arrow pointing to the right side. I was like, it's this side. And then, it's great too because, okay, so I've got 2 tattoos on my lower abdomen. One is a red heart with angel wings and a halo, and that's on the left side. And then on the right side is this purple heart with bat wings and devil horns. And so I kind of put an arrow by that heart, the one with the devil horns. And I was like, LOL, this is ironic because my kidney stone was on the right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is good. Yeah.
But hey, the important part is you're feeling better and you're healing.
Yep.
That's what's really important right now.
I woke up in a lot of pain today. That sucked. At 4:30 too. I was like, damn it.
Oh, that's a terrible time. Well, let's see. I was up at 4:30. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This isn't about you, Gray Cloud.
Just saying, I was up at 4:30.
Nobody asked you.
Technically, it's your 3:30, so I was up in front of you.
Nobody asked you. This isn't about you.
I didn't say it was about me. I'm just making a comparison. I was up at the same time frame. That's all I was referencing.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have it in a locket yet?
No, I do have it in a specimen cup, though. I meant to actually bring it so I could jiggle it around for you. They let me keep it.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Just play the bracket.
I have to come up with a name for it.
No, that's just weird.
I think I said it. I should call it Prickles.
Oh my god.
So I don't know.
Wow.
Over the weekend I went to Grunt Fest down in San Antonio, and I met Spencer Boyd.
Oh yeah.
Were you a fangirl?
He's adorable. He's a little taller than me. I thought he was honestly I thought he was going to be taller, but he's a little bit taller than me. But the hotel that I stayed in had a bunch of these little lollipops that I stole.
Of course.
Yeah, I was like, oh, all of them are mine. But yeah, no, let's see. I've got a little bit of complaints for Grunt Style on this.
Uh-oh.
Well, okay, so the first one that I went to about a year and a half ago, something like that. It felt different. It felt more of a camaraderie where it was what you would expect at a Grunt Fest, where it was, active duty and veterans. And really that's it. There weren't a lot of civilians there. This time, however, and I think it was mainly due to Kane Brown being there, there were so many civilians there, and it felt like it was just an overpriced nightclub.
Really?
Yeah. And it didn't feel you didn't feel that sense of camaraderie with everyone there like you did
It
the
felt
last
like
time.
commercialized.
It's so commercialized. And I'm really upset about that because, like I said, the first one that I had gone to about a year and a half ago, there was just such a sense of camaraderie amongst really everyone in the facility. Because again, it was 90, I would say 99% of the people there were veterans or active duty.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the one on Saturday, so many civilians who clearly had no military affiliation. And it was almost like it was a Kane Brown concert. And that's what they were there for.
Let me ask you this then, and everybody else in the chats. Does it feel like, and I hate to say this about another organization that's putting something together, that they're trying to monetize the veteran experience?
What do you mean?
Like they are only out there to make, so like you're saying, the one previous, very camaraderie building, very, very connection based vets and active duty, getting that feel back for, especially for vets who get out. But now it's turned into a money making item for Grunt Fest, and it's whoever put it on, and that was more their focus than it actually being about vets and active duty making that connection with each other.
I think so. Like it's definitely, like Spanky said, they tried to bring in a quote big name person to draw crowds, which you don't need to in Texas. There's such a huge, especially in San Antonio, there's such a huge active duty population there.
Yep.
Let alone veterans. There's so many veterans here in Texas that you don't need a big name performer to draw in
a crowd.
Your target audience. Grunt Style, your target audience is veteran and active duty. So the fact that you went about and try to get this big name who's let's face it, he's not a big name. He's a fucking trout. He looks like a trout. He's got I'll admit he has absolutely stunning blue eyes. And that's about all he's got going for him. Other than that, he looks like a trout. A very tan trout at that. But no, and I'm actually really disappointed with Grunt Style and how merchandised it became. And their CEO came out. Was it the CEO or the CMO, the chief marketing guy? Good talk, Spanky. Anyways, one of the main dudes from Grunt Style came out before they played the national anthem, and he's trying to do this big old hoot and holler, I guess, speech before the national anthem, and it felt so forced. And it's if in a room full of veterans and active duty, you don't have to force any sort of patriotic speech. It's just gonna flow, right? But yeah. I think because there were so many civilians there, and he was trying to get it across, hey, patriotism, blah blah blah. It's God, dude, you're it's almost overkill. What are you doing? And then, Spanky. Oh, hey, you want to talk?
I do. I usually don't have much to say, but because I was there with you, and I was there with you, 18 months ago too.
Yep.
The one thing when the national anthem played, when we were there 18 months ago, you could have heard a pin drop.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't the case this time, and that was, like you noticed that. Like me and her were actually at the bar about to order a drink when they started that, and like everybody, most people did, but not everybody, and I noticed.
Yeah, that, and then they did a salute to like our fallen comrades, which, as a veteran active duty, you don't fucking cheer at that.
Right.
Like when they say, and here's to our brothers and sisters that never came home, you don't cheer at that point. You take that moment of silence and you reflect on it. I got pissed because some of these bitches started cheering like, woo! And I'm like, no, you don't fucking cheer at that. Like, you don't cheer that some of these people don't come home. Like, the fuck's wrong with you? Ugh.
It definitely was a completely different experience than it was, 18 months ago. Like, exactly what you said. I was just like going to a club. I don't go to clubs.
Yeah.
I'm not a club going person anymore.
Right. I'm 32.
I'm a little older than that. Just let's put it that way. And yeah, that's not my thing anymore. And if they probably would go back to it, because I know I will not be going to another one. I can say that. It's not going to happen. So I'm probably sure I'm not the only one that feels like that.
Yeah.
You know what I see in the future? WTF Nation Radio is Night of Badassery.
Oh, dude, yes, it needs to happen.
It needs to happen.
It does. It needs to happen. Like, it was so nice 18 months ago at the first one down here in Texas, when it was all about that camaraderie. And there was so much to do. Like, majority of the time we were just bullshitting outside, talking with, fellow brothers and sisters, and just fucking bullshitting.
Yep.
You had your stereotypical group of fucking operators walking around in their fucking ranger panties and their beards, and you're just like, yes, yes, thank you. And I think I might have seen like one this time around, and I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, where the hell are all the goddamn operators? Like, where are my ranger panties? I got a little upset.
Not there. They found something more awesomer to do, apparently.
I did. But I will say it got more fun after Kane Brown performed, because then all the teeny boppers like fucking left.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And what really annoyed me though is that the house band that was playing, they were fucking awesome. And I really wanted to like find someone I could go out and like two-step with and like line dance with. But God damn, everyone was crowding that fucking dance floor, and I was getting pissed. I'm like, it's a dance floor. It's not for you to stand on until the actual performer gets here. Like, if he's not here, get the fuck off the floor. Like, we're trying to dance, bitches. But, yeah, those are my 2 cents.
So Spanky, did you make sure to be mom to Miss Minx, considering her intake of fun medication?
Oh, fuck no. I had way too much to drink that night. I was not in charge.
She wasn't. And I was a good person. I did not mix alcohol and Vicodin. I did not take any of my pain medication on Saturday.
Minx played by the rules?
Yeah.
Wow.
Watch out.
That age must be getting to you.
Apparently Ice wants to get stoned with me. That's nice.
That'd That'd be an
I'll
interesting
bring
night. That's
lollipops for you too, Ice. Don't you worry.
for sure. Oh, guys are killing me.
How was your weekend though, Great Cloud? How was class?
Class was class. It was the math is starting to hurt more, but 4 weeks. 4 weeks left of this semester, and that'll be all she wrote for this year. And then we can move on and relax and take a nice summer break because I need the fucking break.
What are you doing this summer?
Try to go see my kiddos over that first weekend after summer break starts. Maybe Vegas, more than likely Vegas, and a lot of golf.
You're so hooked on Vegas.
Vegas is fun. I like going to Vegas.
You only go for a day.
What?
I said, but you only ever plan on going for like a night, maybe.
No, I'll go for during the summer when I don't have class and whatnot. It's a weekend easy. So it's a Friday night, a Saturday night, and leaving like Sunday afternoon. Let's face it, that's really all you need in Vegas is a weekend.
True.
Yep.
What about you, Al? How was your weekend?
My weekend, not too bad, actually. More uneventful than Great Cloud. I've more than anything learning some things and getting some things done, preparing for the next couple months as for my holistic fairs and just kind of moving forward.
Very nice.
So being the hippie that everybody expects me to be.
Yeah, hippie dippy bullshit.
I love it.
I'm sorry, was that out loud?
A
My
little.
apologies.
It was a little out loud, Great Cloud. I don't understand why you have to be so mean to him.
I love Owl so far.
So far?
So far. There's a lot to be worked out between us, I think.
God.
But so far, it's good. So we'll leave it at that.
Good. I'm glad.
Nation, if you're not aware, the draft is coming, i.e. I'm wearing my Bronco stuff.
Nobody cares about the Broncos. Nobody cares about the Broncos.
Yes, we do. I know there are several fans in the Facebook live chat that are Broncos fans.
Negative. Ghost Rider.
And the draft is coming, and it's going to be the most interesting football thing in the next 2 weeks. So there's that.
Thomas still says they still have a team.
We're looking better than San Francisco.
Hey.
What?
You shut your dirty whore mouth.
No.
As you shut your mouth.
Did you just wave your sucker at me?
I did.
Oh my god. Oh lordy. But no. So that's coming. Obviously baseball is in full swing.
Yep.
And there's two other sports that are getting in the playoffs that really nobody cares about, and that's hockey and basketball.
Hey, now I like hockey. I wasn't able to really view it this year, but I like hockey.
I'll view for the Avs the Avs haven't made the playoffs in like 5 years, and they're in the playoffs. They squeezed in somehow.
Who?
The Avalanche.
The Avalanche,
What
yeah.
is that?
So Colorado's team.
Oh, well, I don't know. Duh. Nobody gives a shit about Colorado. Stop trying to make Colorado a thing. It's never going to happen.
I beg to differ. Colorado is awesome.
Go back to your snow, Canada.
One, no Canadadia. Two, when I was at class, they were actually predicting snow on Sunday when I landed back here in my area. And I was like, you've got to be shitting me.
No.
But alas, there was no snow. So hopefully we are done with the snow.
Dude, it got down to like 30 something here in Texas.
Oh, I bet you were freezing.
On Friday.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Was it Friday, Saturday, Friday? I don't know, one of those two. It was fucking freezing. No, I don't think you understand, Owl. Don't make me turn my hate on you. Like right now, it's directed completely at Grey Cloud. I can easily change targets.
Yes, Mistress Minx.
But no, like, you know, literally like the other day, it was like 90 degrees here. And then it's like, second winter. It's like, oh God, gotta turn the heat on.
Yeah. So Friday. So here, Friday it's gonna be 80. Thursday it's gonna be 80. Friday it's gonna be 80. Saturday it's gonna be 80, and then on Sunday it drops back down to the 50s with rain when I come back from class.
The 50's a good day for us.
That's right. You're up in the Northwest, right?
Are you?
Oh yeah.
45th parallel?
What?
Are you north of the 45th parallel?
No, I'm on the east side of the state, away from the rain that, or the place that gets rain over 300 days a year.
Oh, you're East Washington? My dad's in East Washington.
So yeah, dude, you're north of the 45th parallel. So yeah.
Yeah, no, my dad lives in Colville.
Colville.
Yeah, Colville, whatever. I don't know.
Same difference.
He's north of me.
Okay. Are you? Oh, so you're like Spokane?
Yeah. Spokane. Something like that. Yeah, I'm in the Spokane area.
Do you go to Coeur d'Alene a lot?
No.
Do you see any? Hey, no, serious question. Do you see sparkly vampires?
Oh my God, that's in the wrong area. One. When I was stationed out there, the person I was seeing at the time came to visit me, and we actually drove all the way out there. And it's a shithole.
You mean the Spokane area?
No. Where the whole sparkly vampire thing took place.
Forks.
Yeah, I actually drove out there, and it's a shithole. And they try to capitalize on it a lot. Actually, they have a marker that divides the Cullen line, or whatever you want to call it, between the tribe and the Cullens and all this other garbage. And they actually capitalized on it, trying to make money. There must have been 4 or 5 different shops that pertain just to that stuff.
They try to make whatever money they can around here. West side is where it seems to pull in the money, so it's harder on the east side.
Yeah, well, Seattle's got some cool stuff.
Seattle has some big problems right now.
Oh, really?
See, this is the stuff you won't hear in the news because they make sure you don't hear about it. They've got the problems that all the other marijuana, recreational, highly liberal areas have, where right now their homeless rate is so bad. They're saying that more people are living in tents and vehicles than were originally thought to happen. They're trying to sweep it under the rug. They're actually coming up with laws trying to get them out of town.
Oh, I've heard about that. I heard that they're like actually busing everyone down to like Portland.
Yeah, they're pushing them, and the thing is, Portland does not appreciate this.
No, yeah, well, I mean, it's Portland. Nobody wants to go there.
Well, but see, Portland has almost the same problem because they're becoming liberal. And so it's a push back and forth to see who ends up with the most homelessness. And Portland's mirroring Washington in the fact that they're talking about their marijuana stuff and everything else, and all that's going on over on the west side.
Yeah. Well, the east side of Washington's super conservative.
Very. In fact, if you look at the maps, the county maps, you will see, I think, 3 counties that are liberal. Everything else is red. Mm-hmm. And that's the funny part about it. It's everybody knows that's kind of the way it is all over the U.S. But everybody relates Seattle as being, the example of Washington State. You go over on the east side, that is not the case.
Mm-mm.
So, no, right now they've got a big homelessness problem that they cannot control, and they're trying to come up with rules and regulations. They even still have needle zones where you can trade out for clean needles.
God, that's so weird.
Oh, tell me about it. They've already proven it doesn't work. Canada proved it didn't work.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they're still trying it.
Ugh. That's crazy. Friggin', I know, Owl, I know you were watching Zuckerberg testify.
I was wondering where we're going to start with this shit.
Well, I saw that I saw him say something about it in I think it was ops or team room. I don't know. Again, I've been high since Sunday, just straight.
Yeah.
So to the point where I told Grey Cloud and Owl and Spanky this. I don't have any news articles pulled up for you guys because I can't fucking read right now. It's not happening. Everything's blurry in my vision and I can't read. But I know that he was testifying in front of Congress today. What was he testifying about?
Well, that's the fun part. It depends on who you talk to. What he was basically saying is he is open to regulations, but at the same time, he's turning around and saying, you're not going to be able to regulate us as good as you think you are. And there's a couple senators that actually nailed him down. He was deflecting all over the place. What was fun was Ted Cruz and a Nebraska senator. Ted Cruz actually nailed him on some of the bitches we have about him as WTF Nation. The whole, oh, golly gee, how often do we have to worry about our stuff being censored? Because we're conservative. And he says that doesn't happen.
Yep.
And ICE's big bitch about the fact that you can talk on your phone and then go to Facebook and see ads on something that you may have mentioned on your phone. He said that's just a myth. It doesn't happen.
It totally happens.
Okay. Again, he was saying, understand, he was not under oath.
Yeah, I understand that. He was not sworn under oath, but he was pretty much told, try not to lie.
So, hey, let me pick your brain on that one. And Nation, chime in the comments here. Was that a move by Congress to try to get him to be a little more free with his testimony and to bring him back maybe at a later date to put him under oath?
That actually came up on Fox, where they were trying to say what reason would they not put him under oath. And one, you're right. I think they wanted him there. Two, he's actually saying he wants to come back and help with the regulations. So you can see they're trying to lure him in. And you think about it. He's a private company. He really hasn't. Everybody's like, oh, they mined our information. I'm sorry. When we go in, we say yes, we accept their terms. So did he do anything illegal? And they're trying very hard to, and this is what they were doing. They were trying very hard to get him to say he did something illegal. And at no time did he ever say he did anything illegal. He apologized for giving information to such and such. They never went back to the possibility that, maybe Obama or someone else used the information also.
Right. I think they're going to save those. I think they're going to save those bullets for a later date. Now, here's my other question on that. I caught a lot of the deflection that he was doing when Cruz was trying to nail him down and whatnot. and this was a couple weeks back when all this was starting to break, is because of how they term it, because of the amount of use and it being the way it's used and it being a common item that everybody uses almost. There was a rumor that they could step in and possibly try and regulate it as a utility.
That was one of the questions that came up. Was, is this technical or is this media? And they wanted him to define it. And he made the right break for his company. He said it's technical. Because had he said media, then it can be regulated. And they even said that afterwards. Mm-hmm. But he played it out as, no, we're a technical company and he went on to explain that. And he said, and they said, but you do deal with media. He says, no, people have put in their input. We do not personally put in their input.
Right. But if you look at their algorithms and the way they're driving traffic, they actually do, but they couldn't nail him down to actually commit to that. Exactly.
And that was the whole back and forth in Congress. Was there were you could tell the Democrats played it very light, believe it or not. And I thought, okay, I was trying to see who was trying to fry him. The Democrats kind of went light on him, mainly because they didn't understand the technology. You could tell who didn't. Right. There were some actually heads up senators that were on the Republican side that came in, and you could tell they got schooled because they sat there and they nailed him down on some simple stuff, and you could tell he was jumping, and right. he wasn't sweating, but boy, he was picking that water up a lot.
Yep, and he was very. The thing I found interesting was he always referred to his team. It was never him. Like he was trying to distance himself from the things that his employees were doing, which means he knows and he's fucking guilty, but he's trying to deflect as long as possible.
Ted Cruz nailed him on that one. And so did the Nebraska senator. They both sat there and said, you're referring to your team, but you're in charge. You're actually the guy who does this. You can't tell us you don't know. And he still tried to deflect, but they just kept pounding at him. And they're going as far as even saying, okay, yes, you're a U.S. company, but you also have stuff overseas. You're overseas, and we have to sit here and go, how do you affect other countries too? And he was trying to sit there and say, well, and here's what we have to worry about, his AI bots now. And the fact that the AI bots are now going to be looking for terrorism and certain words and all this other stuff that could possibly cause offense or harm. And he said that they are bringing on 20,000 people by the end of the year for security because they don't want not only our elections tainted with, but India and some others.
It's interesting because I caught that, and he's worried about all these other elections, and he mentioned the 2018 elections specifically that are upcoming. But he just would not. He would never nail it down and say, this is me. The one time he did, as far as I know, based on what I was catching from the live updates. But they couldn't nail him down. And I find it very interesting, and I'm waiting to see what tomorrow's testimony will bring. Because, and here's the other part is, what will it do to Facebook stock?
Well, here's something that was brought up, and here's the one thing that I just kind of sat there and went, okay, here's where here's the one thing to pay attention to, is when they brought up the is he social media or is he technical? The other part that they're going after is monopoly. Is he a monopoly?
Right.
And I saw he deflected that really hard, but it kept coming back to him.
Right.
And you're right. It's going to be interesting because nobody else is showing up. CEOs of Twitter, whoever else. Okay, he's the only one showing up, and at this point, could he be viewed as a monopoly?
So, again, based on what I have no business background, only other than what I'm taking for my current masters, is that they are working on, because the way he's bought these other companies and whatnot to try and crush them out of his realm, basically, to ensure that he is the dominant force. It could be viewed as a monopoly because of the practices he's employing to try and protect his company and to make sure that he is at the forefront and the only competitor for this stuff.
Look at AT&T. Look at what they did to AT&T.
But AT&T is a very unique. If you look at their case study of the history of their company and whatnot, they actually sold off a lot of their stuff, and then realized that they were losing money, and then went and bought it all back. So yeah, AT&T is kind of a unique animal in the way their company was built and structured and whatnot. But Facebook actually finished trading up 4.5% today. At the close of the stock market closed at 1,600, so they actually closed up $7.11. We'll see what tomorrow's market brings. They're down 46 cents in the after hours trading as of 2,000. So that'll be interesting to watch for tomorrow to see if the testimony that he comes forward, or if they nail him down to anything else, if it actually damages the company as a whole. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it was brought out, and I agree with this. The biggest problem is, one, he isn't under oath, so you can't hold him for perjury if he does lie. And two, the senators do not know enough to really nail him down.
True.
They're kind of, they're worse off than me when it comes to social media.
Right, but it goes back to that other theory is that, we'll talk, he's not under oath. They try to get as much out of, and he's still being very careful with his words, right? So let's say if tomorrow they could bring him back and put him under oath, or they could bring him back at a future date to put him under oath, right? And then once he's under oath, they flat out, they will have all the transcripts, and their scribes, or whatever you want to call them, their aides will brief them up on everything he said prior, because they're going to be looking for that gotcha question. And they'll put it out there just like this. Well, either you're lying to us now, or you lied to the American people then.
And I hope that's what they're planning to do, because there were too many things that going back and forth. Some senators sounded like that. Others were sitting there going, well, we need help writing regulations. And it's like, what are you trying to do here? Are you trying to get to the bottom? And then there were some that were going after the whole Trump thing. Oh, well, Trump did this, Trump did that. And he made sure to shine on with that.
Oh, yeah, he did.
That was one of his bigger deflections, was keep going back to, well, I didn't know, or it's sad that this happened, and it's
sad that this happened my ass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he was he knew what was going to happen, or come on, he took the money, he got paid for this, and there's no way he couldn't have known what the information was.
Right. So, man, either way, it's bad. Okay. Now, I hate to say it, if Congress gets a wild hair up their ass, they could swear him in tomorrow. And if he doesn't want to say anything, then they hold him in contempt, and then you just watch Facebook stock plummet. I mean,
well, exactly. I'm kind of in the balance of, I'd like to see Zuck held accountable for some of his algorithms and the fact that he does mess with things that he considers bad. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, freedom of speech, man. We've got to really keep our eye on that.
Right.
Because go ahead.
the freedom of speech thing is, So here's what I don't understand about that, and this is another great point that he threw out there. We don't allow hate speech, we don't allow certain things, blah blah blah, all this other garbage, right?
Yeah.
Define hate speech, because even hate speech is protected by the First Amendment.
A senator actually tried to get him on that one. Believe it or not, a senator actually tried to say, define hate speech. And he deflected hard.
Yep,
He wouldn't,
because
he would not go into it. He went after the obvious stuff. He went after terrorism and pedophiles.
right now, construing a threat or anything of that nature, different story. Okay, but define for me hate speech, because again, even hate speech, whether you like it or not, is protected by the First Amendment.
And that's the thing is, my question is, where is this going? Because if they start talking regulation, is this regulation to regulate him from allowing people to interfere with social media, or is this regulation, and are we going to start seeing the First Amendment stamped on?
Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky, and this is where you have to really understand how the Constitution works. As of now, Facebook is a technically it's a publicly traded company, right?
Yep.
It is a business, okay? The Constitution applies to the government and the powers it can put over the people of the United States.
I understand that.
You can interpret, and this is where other laws come into effect, like the EEO and the Civil Rights Act as amended, and all these other items come into effect, because that's where you start to tread and you start to get blurry. And you see it with these Facebook warriors and all this other fucking garbage that, this is First Amendment, blah, 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 blah. No, you may not agree with it, no matter which way you lean, okay? You may not agree with the way Facebook is conducting business. Granted, it is a business.
Exactly.
So, got it. From our standpoint, we see it as, they're trying to suppress certain voices and all this other garbage. Well, you know what? Leave Facebook and start up the anti-Facebook, or whatever the hell you want to call it, the conservativeblog.com, whatever, right? For those voices that need to be heard to get heard. And it would be counterculture, whatever you want to call it. But it is a business, okay? There are certain things, there are certain rules and laws and U.S. code that would apply to it in certain instances, i.e. if they are actually suppressing based on religious view and or sex or orientation or all these other things, got it. You can hem them up on that. Some way, shape, or form, I'm sure, because you're denying them an ability, whatever, like they did with the cake bakers out there in Colorado.
Oh, did you hear about that?
Is there a change to it?
Yep, it right now is going up, and it's made it all the way to the Supreme Court. It is going to be heard, and from what it looks like, because of the new Supreme Court judge that they Trump put in, they're saying there's the leaning at this point looks like it is going to be overturn the rulings against that.
Right. And then you know what you do as that cake baker? You stew that couple.
Exactly. So, but that actually came up today on the news that they were sitting there saying, okay, all this stuff is going on with Zook, but there's other things that other news that's been happening. And they're talking about the first year of the new Supreme Court judge. And he's seen over 60 cases.
Yep. This is going to be an interesting this is going to be an interesting term for the Supreme Court.
Yep.
It really is. Man. it'll be interesting to say the least.
Well, and with all the gun rights and everything else being pushed, at some point that's going to make it up there. And at that point, I mean, because what right do state have to do some of the stuff that they're doing right now? And I'm looking forward to that because I think a lot of states are crossing the line.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to see. I mean, they even said that the ban, the travel ban, one of the last ones, is going to be seen by the Supreme Court.
It'll get up there. But here's the thing about the travel ban is that it's already done and over. The 90 days is done and gone.
Oh, yeah.
So they can still rule on it and, vindicate the travel ban itself. But they would do it more to set a precedent for future cases and future challenges.
Well, but that's what needs to happen at this point, because I think they were able to somehow manage to muck it up this time. Let's make it so they can't keep doing it.
Right. It'll be an interesting year. Now, the one I want to bring this up about going back to the Zuckerberg and the case, why he's in there testifying. Here's what I find interesting about what him and some of his, I don't know if you want to call them cronies or those that are here, they're supporting him. And this is only because from a business aspect and what I do, the color ties that were being worn by him and his team, I guess, if you want to say that. They were all wearing blue ties.
What?
They were all wearing blue ties, blue colored ties.
Interesting.
Okay, so Nation, if you don't know, tie color, it does a lot, and it actually communicates a message to those that are perceiving it. Okay, just to there are certain, and they tell you about this in interviews and when you're doing meetings and all this other stuff, is that if you are actually trying to convey something from a standpoint, color of your ties is important. The thing behind a blue tie, it conveys trustworthiness and approachable intelligence. Okay. In addition, blue often inspires confidence as is associated with police, Navy, and pilot uniforms. And just as blue shirts rolled up with sleeves is a symbol of every man, wearing a blue tie is an easy way to connect to the general public. So there's a little bit of a subduing message for you. If you want to throw your tinfoil hat on that, it's that I did find that very interesting that he and a lot of his team were wearing a blue shade of tie somehow.
Well, I did notice that he made sure that directly behind him, so all the cameras would see, there was a woman and a man standing right behind him.
Yep. Was that his CFO?
I think so.
Yeah. And I found that very interesting. That's one of the first things I picked up on when I was able to see some of the live testimony from him and from him specifically, but seeing this team. Doc Derek, a red tie conveys power and confidence. It usually is something you want to wear when you are leading a meeting of some sort. A lot of politicians wear it when they are campaigning. There's a lot. Yellow usually is intelligence, and there's a whole thing behind the colors of the tie and what they want to mean. So it's yeah. So I found that very interesting. And it's not. Don't get me wrong. These guys think all this shit through, and it wasn't coincidence that they were wearing blue ties.
They think it all the way through down to the last button.
Yep.
The one thing I found, they were well rehearsed. The team behind him, you could tell they were even watching their facial expressions. I mean, Nobody would pick their nose by accident. Nobody did anything. Their hands didn't go up at all. I mean, they were prepped.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
come on,
think they
how many of
rehearsed
us? Go ahead.
a lot.
I mean, how many of us could sit there and not itch our nose?
Yeah, I think they rehearsed a lot.
Exactly, and that's it. Believe it or not, it really showed. The only one you could tell Zuckerberg, I think, was well prepped, and I think he thought because he was showing up on his own that they were going to take it light on him, and I think they took it light on him. I think the senators that started out took it light on him, and I think it was prepared that way because at the very last, that's when they dug in. And you could tell at that point he was not having such an easy time.
Right. There were several times that he was. It seemed like he was struggling for his words on trying to answer their questions.
Yes, he was trying to keep it. You could tell, just like you and I might sometimes watch our words, you could tell at that point he was really, really struggling to find the words to keep it within the parameters he was told.
Right. And let's face it, he was probably well rehearsed with his lawyer or his legal team prior to walking in there.
Exactly. Well, we're getting close to time. It's
a good hour.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Good job, you guys.
Gave Minx her little chance to enjoy the conversation and get caught up.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yep. She's probably taking a nap.
No, I wasn't actually. I think you guys brought up some really good points. I think that the fact that he was deflecting so much is really eyebrow raising, especially when it comes to like, hey, define hate speech. And especially when they were like, hey, how come you censor those who have a more, even midline to conservative message? And the fact that he straight up denied it when Diamond and Silk have been pretty much banned from Facebook.
Yeah.
And they're totally pro-Trump. But yet, for whatever reason, they are now banned from Facebook.
And anybody who actually tries to post about it, now I haven't posted myself, but I've been catching word from those who've tried to post about it and actually say, hey, do something about it. They're catching trouble with their Facebook.
Interesting.
So Zook saying what he's saying, and actions speak louder than words. And unfortunately, I think that's again part of his. Well, I'm being honest. I'm showing up, so therefore you can't put me on, or because I'm being the good guy. Give me some slack.
No, that's not how this works.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping anyway.
Right.
Had he not shown up, he would have been subpoenaed anyway. And when he did show, he'd been found in contempt of Congress, which I think falls under the category of felony. Last time I checked.
Right? Maybe, I don't know.
We'll have that back when we come back from break.
Right? Speaking of break, which we are going to be taking right now, we are going to have Bob Regan on from Operation Song. So, everyone, sit back, relax, enjoy these songs. And if I can see. It gets so bad, I can't see what I'm doing. But yeah, so we'll be right back after these songs with our special guest, Bob Regan.
Noon. Gotta get it together, I gotta stay in tune. Same time's against me, but I hate to rush. Gotta keep it between the lines until I hit the dust. together. I gotta buy some time. The key to freedom lies across the state line. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again, driving on the road to nowhere. My mouth is blurry and my vision's dry. I'm looking at the world again through bloodshot eyes. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again, driving on the road to nowhere. Just like this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere. But I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again, driving on the road to nowhere. Just like this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere. But I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of Tied Up Tuesday on this 10th of April, 2018. I'm your host, Minx, and we're joined by Bob Regan. Hi, Bob. So nice to have you on the show.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. And so you are from Operation Song now. Are you the owner, the founder?
Well, we're no owner. It's a nonprofit. So the nonprofit owns us, basically. Yes, I'm the founder and the director and the accountant, bookkeeper, you name it. That's me. Recording engineer.
Right. So how did you found Operation Song?
Well, just a little background. I was, excuse me, I've been in the music business for my entire life. And as you can see by looking at me, that's been quite a stretch. And I did a bunch of things in the music business. I was a recording artist early on in the 80s. And I moved to Nashville in 1985 to be a professional songwriter. And I was, luckily, I had some success and I was able to write songs professionally for many years, up until maybe 5 years ago. But a little bit before that, in the 2000s, I had the opportunity to play on a bunch of Armed Forces entertainment tours. And some of your listening audience might know Armed Forces entertainment is basically like the USO, only it's within the DOD. It's run through the Pentagon. And I had maybe 5 or 6 times we traveled around the world to military bases. And with a songwriter band, we would go play our songs. And we went to the Middle East a couple of times, never got into Iraq. We got pulled back at the border a couple of times. It was a horrible time in 2006. But anyway, as a songwriter, I just met all these people, and I thought, man, how cool would it be if professional songwriters were able to sit down with these veterans and active duty and help them tell their stories, which songwriters are sort of armchair therapists. Anyway, that's what we do. We get in little rooms and sit in there and tell each other stories about the good, the bad, the ugly. And then we make it rhyme and turn something potentially awful into something that makes a little bit of sense. So that was my initial impulse. And so a little over 5 years ago, I made some phone calls, and someone at the VA in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, that's a little bit south of Nashville, said, let's give it a try. And so it just kind of expanded from there, and I had no intention of starting a nonprofit or running a nonprofit, but it's been very, very effective, and a lot of people want us to do what we do. So we've just kind of rolled on everything. People ask, can you bring Operation Song to our community, our town, our population? We go, sure, let's give it a try. So we've written over 600 songs at this point, with veterans World War II to Gold Star kids to active duty to you name it.
Oh my gosh, 600 songs.
It's a lot. Yes, we have a lot of programs, a lot of retreats. We're writing songs all the time.
That's amazing. Now, would you guys ever compile some of these songs together onto like an album and be like, the warfighter story?
Oh yeah, we've recorded a lot of songs, and we don't have too many things that are actually for sale. Actually, I grabbed a stack of these CDs. Normally, what we do, I don't know if you can see this, like this, for example. This is the Nashville Vet Center. So at the end of it, we do I'm going to ramble here. You tell me to shut up.
No, you're good.
We do 2 different things. We'll do retreats, which songwriters will sit one-on-one with a veteran or active duty, and we write their songs. Or we do programs that last for like 8 weeks. We do those in the Nashville and the greater Nashville area. So at the end of each one of those, we had 6 songs in this program at the Nashville Vet Center, for example. So we print up a little CD, but I don't try to sell them. People are always after me to say, well, you got to make a record. And I go, you know what? I made my living trying to make money off of recorded music for the last 40 years with some success, but now it just makes my head hurt. But that said, we do have one CD. It's called this. You can get on iTunes. It's called We've Got Your Six. And a donor said, how can I help? And he owned a studio. So we went in and recorded 6 songs. So if you go to iTunes and look for Operation Song, We've Got Your Six, you can buy that. We also have a SoundCloud page, just SoundCloud Operation Song. We probably got 40 songs up there. Go to our YouTube channel, Operation Song YouTube, and you can see a lot of videos. We encourage the veterans to send us pictures and little video clips of their service, which the younger guys obviously have a lot of those. And then we help them make little videos to go with their songs. So yes, short answer is yes, we do have some CDs made up, but we have far, far, far more songs than we have CDs pressed.
Yeah. That's amazing. Great Cloud.
Yes. So looking on his website, and Bob, my question from you is, and what I saw from a lot of the bio is that you, like you said, you sit down with all these individuals and you put these things together. Is there one in particular that's really hit you close?
Oh man, there's dozens. At least. I mean, they all do. I'll sit there and I'll hear these stories and just burst out crying. There's or laughing. Man, probably. I mean, what can I say, man? One of the just early on, I wrote a song with this young vet, and his therapist from the VA said, he might benefit from this, and he was a medic on a dust-off missions in the Korangal Valley in Afghanistan in a really horrible time back in, I think, 2013. And just incredibly, just as probably a lot of you know, they get so hyped up on adrenaline, and they're just operating at 110% for months at a time, and then they come back to civilian life and try to reintegrate. It's incredibly difficult. But this I call him a young guy. He was probably close to 30. Ian, he just sat down. I sort of tried to get him talking about his service, and I just started typing. And next thing I know, I typed like 8 pages, single spaced, of just rant and I was thinking to myself the whole time, how am I going to make a song out of this? What am I going to? What's the hook here? And then he was telling about the chaos and the noise when the bird was taken off, when the medevac call came in, and I said, you were trying to sort out everything that was coming through the headphones, and I said, well, tell me what you heard in your headphones, and he went, medevac, 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 first up and chase, go Redcon 1, clear up left, clear up right, get in the air. And when he said that, I went, there's my chorus. It was because it was that cadence. And I sang it back to him, and he just kind of was rocked back on his heels. He was like stunned because it was his words. That's what I love doing, is taking their words and finding the rhyme and the melody and the phrasing and then singing them back to him. So he was, really grateful, and then he, played it for all his buddies and all his guys, and it's kind of made the rounds for all the, the flight medics. And that's just one. I could talk for all night long with the, incredibly impactful stories.
That's awesome. So I'm a big believer in music. It's there's a quote out there that I've posted several times. It either makes everything disappear or it brings everything back. And music is just that powerful. And you being able to put what vets are feeling and what they're going through into a song to help them cope is awesome. But not only that, but it can help other vets cope. And that's how I view this, the mission that you have, and what you're doing to make this connection with the community. It's just unreal. Music is so powerful.
Right. Well, I mean, for me, I feel like the optimum benefit of Operation Song is for us to write a song with everybody, but that's not possible. But what I'm going to start working on, or try to delegate, that's my new mission going forward, delegate, get someone to go back through all these songs we have and come up with different playlists. So there can be, we could do easily a whole CD for World War II veterans, Korean veterans, the Vietnam vet. We have hundreds of songs with Vietnam veterans, flight medics. We do a series every year on military sexual trauma with female survivors. But anyway, what I want to do is get all these different playlists and then be able to get them out there to the therapeutic community and say, this is available for you, no charge. We're not trying to make any money off this. And I will say that all the veterans, to a man and woman and child, they just want other people to hear their songs, and just people want to feel like they're heard, and that somebody understands them, and and they can take that song and go, here, this is me, this is what I feel, this is what I went through, and this is where I'm going to. So yeah, that's we're trying to find ways to get the most people to hear the songs as possible.
No, and this is again, the mission's awesome. For soldiers to be able to relay it gives them a different way to talk about what they've gone through as well, is how I see it. Because let's face it, so everybody comes back and everybody deals with it in their own way, and they're trying to comprehend and process all this stuff that they went through. And not everybody takes the same path to, as you said, readjust to the civilian life or readjust to what it's like to be here in the States after going through all that.
And we deal with a lot of, a lot of the guys, the recent vets. There's with the Vietnam vets, a lot of PTSD. The young guys, a lot of traumatic brain injury and PTSD. So you have the normal difficulties of transition to civilian life exacerbated by cognitive impairments. And I'm not a psychologist or a therapist, but I think what helps for those people, if your thoughts and emotions are scrambled by trauma, something you've seen, experienced, been through, things are triggered and things are kind of jumbled up in your head. The process of writing a song, by its nature, takes all these jumbled things, and then we create a narrative arc out of someone's story, and they may not even know what the story is. In fact, they rarely do. They're just, everybody sits down and says, I don't have a song. I could never write a song. I don't have a song in me. I said, you have a story. You just tell us your story, and we'll do the songwriting part. So that's where to me, the songwriting, where that's the most therapeutic, is when you can take something that's been jumbled up, tangled up, and then give it a beginning and a middle and an end and a resolution. And then we always, whenever possible, we put hope in these songs, to make sure there's, hope going forward. And some of the people we sit with will tell you, so I don't have a lot of hope. I'm at the end of my rope. And I go, okay, tell me what made you get up today and come here. And then we'll start with that. So we always try to put, hope for the future and a reason to go forward. And it's seemingly very effective.
Yeah. And if you can reach that one vet to keep them from being that, I hate to use a cliche, but one of that 22 a day, give them that hope, have them have that outlet that they need. By God, you're contributing to the mission, and you are a very successful individual at that point in your life, career, mission set, whatever it be. Now, the next question I have is, if somebody wants to get in touch with you guys to be a part of this, how do they go about that?
Best way is just to reach out through the website, operationsong.org. We have a contact form on there, and I'd love to hear from as many people as possible. I will, with a little caveat. Right now, our bandwidth we're pretty much full up with what we can do, and I'll say I'm not taking any compensation for anything I do with Operation Song. So this isn't my business model. I'm not trying to franchise this and get rich. But I'd love to hear from people, and if people have ideas to, just about how to incorporate local resources in their communities, that's something we've been trying to do for the last couple of years, is identify other people, other songwriters in other communities that might be able to connect with local veterans. There are veterans everywhere. The one thing that makes Operation Song work in Nashville is the fact that there's so many songwriters here. And I know, having been here for 30 plus years, and I was the president of the Songwriters Association, and I was a songwriting professor, and I know hundreds of people, and I've used probably 60 or 70 different writers at this point. So I can make it happen within Nashville or within a half a day's drive of Nashville. But once we get out there and, people say, can you come to Des Moines? And I go, I want to. I really want to. But right now we can't do that. So, but I'm just want to let people know it's not like, oh, I live in Kansas City and I want to sign up for Operation Song. Right now, we're still trying to work on a way to make that happen.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any songs queued up. It's always good to hear a song or two rather than hear me yak.
I don't actually. I never got any.
Really, I sent what's your name about 6 or 7 SoundCloud links.
Yeah, no, I didn't get any.
Okay. Well, maybe if somebody off to the side there could go to a SoundCloud Operation Song. Maybe we could pull something up.
Yeah, let me do that. Owl.
Yeah. I listen to everything you say, and I commend you. Anytime you can get a veteran engaged is probably the most important thing you can do. And you're right. I when I listen to you, your approach is very, very wonderful. I listen to it, and when I listen to what you're saying, some of the fun questions I have for you is, okay, you've talked about how you've listened to veterans, but here's the interesting part. You said you've had as many as 60 songwriters engaged. How has that affected the songwriters?
Oh, the songwriters love it. I've been told over and over and over again, say this is the best day I've ever had as a songwriter, and they're possibly exaggerating a little bit. I'm sure some of the ones that have written hits have thought that was a pretty good day, but it's for the songwriters a really valuable way to put their skill set to use. Because I mean, let's be honest, you don't need to listen to the radio for too long to realize that there's a lot of the songs out there kind of shallow and derivative and not terribly meaningful.
Well, exactly.
But in this iteration, the songwriter can sit down with somebody and say, it's not my job to write a hit song. It's not my job to, try to impose my will on my co-writer. I'm strictly here to listen to your story and help you tell it. Tell you what, I don't know if you guys can hear. I got my guitar here, as it turns out.
Oh, yes.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
This song, I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but we wrote this at the pretty early on in the start of the program. It was myself and my buddy Don Goodman. Have you ever heard the song "Old Red" by Blake Shelton?
Yes.
Don wrote that, and anyway, Don is a wonderful songwriter, and he's been there really from the beginning with Operation Song. But one day it was coming up on a Memorial Day, and we kind of got to talking about it, and no one had ever heard a song about Memorial Day. So myself and Don and 6 veterans, probably 2 Vietnam veterans, the rest Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, wrote a song called "The Last Monday in May." And the last 4 years, we've gone up to Washington, D.C. on Memorial Day, and we play this on the National Mall, and we kicked off the National Parade. So that's a hit for Operation Song. And we're going back to D.C. on Memorial Day to play it again. It's called "Last Monday in May." I took a mustard ball in Chancellorsville. I went down and I lie here still, underneath a cross of stone. The world has turned and time's moved on. There are seasons when it seems that everyone's forgotten me, until the last Monday in May, when all the springtime flowers bloom. They come and decorate my grave, but only bones lie here entombed. My spirit flies as high as Old Glory waves on the last Monday in May. I fought on a distant shore in the war to end all wars. World War I turned into two. The Argonne into Peleliu. It's hard to rest so far from home, but one day a year I'm not alone. The last Monday in May, when all the springtime flowers bloom, they come and decorate my grave, but only bones lie here entombed. My spirit flies as high as old glory waves on the last Monday in May. From the jungles of Vietnam to the mountains of Afghanistan, in whatever wars are yet to be, we'll fight to keep our country free. My chopper went down in Iraq. One more week I'd have made it back. Now my war and battle's done. I rest in peace in Arlington. There are seasons when it seems that everyone's forgotten me, till the last Monday in May, when all the springtime flowers bloom. They come and decorate my grave, but only bones lie here entombed. My spirit flies as high as old glory waves. Remember all of us and the sacrifice we made on the last Monday in May.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Yes, we wrote that in about 45 minutes.
Oh my god.
My favorite rhyme in there, because it's sung from the perspective of fallen soldiers and service members from different conflicts, and we have the second verse. I fought on a distant shore in the war to end all wars. World War I turned into two. And I was okay. What rhymes with ooh? What's a battle? And one of the guys said, I was on the Peleliu. He was in the Navy, and that was the name of the ship, and that was a little-known battle in the Pacific. So, boom.
That's awesome.
World War I turned into two, Argonne into Peleliu.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. So I've got SoundCloud up for you guys.
Okay.
Was there a particular song that you would like me to play?
What do you see? What do you see? And I don't have the home page pulled up there.
Let's see. The first one is "I Deserve a Purple Heart." Second one is "Home."
Well, I tell you what. I'll let you. April, sadly, is Military Sexual Assault Awareness Month in the military. The "I Deserve a Purple Heart" was written with a female survivor of military sexual trauma, and I wrote that song with her maybe a couple of years ago. You could play that. The song "Home" is about a veteran had TBI, and he was not terribly communicative, and we kind of kept talking to him, and you keep talking until somebody says something that you said they get a little excited about, and he sort of talked about, his armored vehicle, and he said that was home. So that song is written about an armored vehicle, which is, but both songs are great. You pick a coin.
Right. We'll do the first one. "I Deserve a Purple Heart." I hope it plays through.
We'll see. It should. And this is my friend Lisa Brokop. I got her to sing it. There's amazing vocalists here in Nashville, myself not being one of them, but Lisa Brokop, who's a big star in Canada, did the vocal on this called "I Deserve a Purple Heart."
When I was just a girl, I wanted to aim high and see the world.
Hopefully you can hear it because I
My
can't.
mama wished me good luck
Okay.
with my new suitcase. I got on that bus. I was innocent, I was naive. There were dangers that I could not see. Didn't know about things like friendly fire, that the fight of my life would be inside the wire. Oh, I deserve a purple heart for secret wounds that never scarred. To have a medal I could wear to tell the world what I did not dare. The terrible cost of wars, won and lost. God, I fought so hard. I deserve a purple heart. They teach you don't leave anyone behind, but he left me bruised and crying, still trying to get back what they stole. My self-esteem, that part of my soul, 'cause now I have a girl of my own. I'll teach her to be brave and strong. I'll tell her, baby, protect yourself. Don't trust your safety to anyone else. Oh, I deserve a purple heart for secret wounds that never scarred. To have a medal I could wear to tell the world what I did not dare. The terrible cost of wars, won and lost. God, I fought so hard. I deserve a purple heart. For years I believed that it was just me who'd been through this, who lived
Oh my
like
gosh,
this.
love, this song is so
But
powerful.
now I know
It's these stories are powerful. I mean, so it's all the writers, myself included. We just, we listen to these stories and realize the price that was paid by the people who are telling the story. And say, okay, how can we do justice to this story and hope that our talents are up to the task.
Oh my goodness. So I was looking through some more of the songs on here. What is this song? I Ran to It.
It's one of my favorites, but that was a Iraq veteran said I didn't run from it, I ran to it. A really good song, I think. Do you see We Got Lucky?
I can look for it.
For that. That was written with Scott Sullivan, who was a physician's assistant. And his first day in Iraq in 2004 was actually Black Friday, which I didn't know anything about, but I've since come to learn that was kind of when things took a serious turn for the worse in Iraq. And his first day on the job, they had 60 casualties. And
oh my God.
And the Mahdi army planned the attack for when the nukes made their rotation, and they got there and they were all green. But I don't know if you can find that song, but Scott wrote they saved so many lives, but nobody wanted to take credit for anything and get cocky because they were always worried about saving the next one. So rather than saying, somebody said, man, you did a good job saving that guy. He said, no, we got lucky. So that's what he kept saying. We weren't good. We got lucky.
All right, I found it. So, you guys, this is a song called We Got Lucky.
Yes, written with and sung by Regan, who's a great artist.
Me and Fish Frenchie and Ralphie D. I had the Camp War Regulation All-Star team. We were patching up bullet holes trying to survive. And even if we lost 1 out of 5, we got lucky. We got lucky. Mortar raining down like an iron flood. Shaking these boots, wading through blood. We own the tanks, they own the night. And anyone was standing in the morning light, we got lucky. We got lucky. Screaming and bleeding, goddamn noise. Bullets and bombs and messed up boys. Playing with fire like heartless toys. It's a miracle of God. Anybody got out alive? Or maybe we got lucky. We got lucky. Staff Sergeant Gunner named Maurice Young. His chest ripped open and holding his lung. Oh Lord. I packed him and I wrapped him and I put him on a bird. When we hugged a year later, there were just 3 words. We got lucky. Screaming, bleeding, goddamn noise. Bullets and bombs and messed up boys. Playing with fire like a timeless toys. It's a miracle of God. Anybody got out alive? Or maybe we got lucky. We got lucky. When my mind rolls back, it ain't always clear how we put them back together, didn't sleep for a year. As the new crew rolled in, I started to pray. Oh, Lord, let them all be able to say we got lucky. We got lucky. We got lucky. Lucky. We got lucky. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we got lucky.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
That one, that song is actually on the. If anybody wanted to get a copy of that, if you pick up this, We've Got Your Six. You can on iTunes, Operation Song, We've Got Your Six. The song is on there along with some 5 other ones. I sound like them. Also, if anybody's looking at this T-shirt and saying, "Oh my God, where could I get a T-shirt that cool?" Well, we have a few of these. I'm also the shipping handling department, by the way. But if you go to our website, and I think there's a little order form on there, you can say, you know, what you like, and for a donation, we'd be happy to send you a T-shirt. And, it's a pretty punchy logo, if I do say so myself. And I will say about that song, We Got Lucky. Scott Sullivan, the physician's assistant, he was a little older than some of the guys, and he knew when he went over there it was going to be a life-altering experience, and he recorded, and those sounds you hear at the beginning of the song, those were all recorded on his phone when he was, just in the thick of it. Really, Black Friday was horrible day, and I've met many veterans after the fact who've gone back to that particular April. It was almost a year ago to I think April 4th, if I'm not mistaken. That was a very, very bad day for a lot of military in Iraq at that time.
Oh.
Well, with what you're doing, I mean, like I said, it is a very good cause and a very good thing. With who you pull in, have you, because you're songwriters, have you shown this material to some of the bigger names? Have any of them taken interest in your cause and thought about bringing that into the spotlight?
Well, we're working on that, and I'll let you. There's a little inside baseball in the music business. Right now on my phone, I have, well, the numbers may not be any good anymore, but I have Luke Bryan, Jake Owen, Sam Hunt.
Oh my God, I love Jake Owen.
But when I run into them, I say, man, what can I do? I'll do it. Then, hey guys, if you're listening, I love you. Then you call up their managers and you hit a wall. But I don't blame them, because if you're an artist, you are under siege from every charity known to man. But all that said, we are working on getting some artists to do these songs. Charlie Daniels is on our emeritus board member. He's a big supporter. Charlie has an organization called the Journey Home Project, and he sponsors us. Rodney Atkins has helped out and done some things. Jimmy Wayne, William Michael Morgan. I don't know if you're familiar with him, a new country artist, was on the Opry with us a couple of years ago, singing last Monday in May. So we're working on that. And again, people ask me this a lot, and my default answer is I spent so many years running up and down Music Row in Nashville trying to get artists to do my bidding that it makes my head hurt. But that's not to say it won't happen, or that somebody besides myself will make it happen.
Yeah.
So stay tuned on that.
Well, and I hope it does happen. You've put together a lot of therapy, and that's not easy. I know that from experience. And then to get people to actually focus in on it, that can be really a hard pill to swallow for some. And some people just don't want to hear it because it's the reality. But I think you've definitely got some things that need to be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, opportunities like this with WTF Radio, talk it up and just get the songs out there. And, that's the good thing about these songs. They really are the unvarnished, gut level truth of everybody who wrote that song. And when we sit in these rooms, we don't go, all right, I'm going to write a song for you. That's not the process. The process is you tell me your story, and then together we're going to make it rhyme, and we're going to make it sing to when you hear it back, you can go, yes, that's me. This is what I've been trying to tell the world. I wrote with a World War II veteran about a month ago, and at the end of it, he said, I've been trying to say this for the last 40 years.
Oh, God.
When? Just because, we're helping them tell the story. So anyway, yes, the more people can hear these songs, the better, and the more songs we can write, the better.
I don't know what the rules are back and forth. I'm the newbie around here, but I know we've had some groups that have veterans that are actually part of their therapy is forming groups and singing.
Uh-huh.
And you guys write the songs. And I'm wondering, I'm one of those guys that believes that sometimes we need some cohesiveness between groups.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm wondering, I'm sitting there going, somewhere on our page is a group, I think it was down in Texas, that actually they form bands so that the guys can just sing out their therapy.
Oh, yeah, I think that's great. And these are guys that actually perform as well?
Yes.
Yeah, let's if you wouldn't mind, make that connection either through email or post it onto our page, and I'll reach out and say, guys, here's all these songs, pick through them, and whatever ones you want to play, we'll happily let you have at it. That's
do you know which one I'm talking about?
What do you know what the name of the organization is?
Spanky.
And a lot of times the people that come to Operation Song, occasionally we'll have like a veteran who's a songwriter who wants to come and take part. And we're happy to accommodate all, but it's almost better. It is better if the person that comes in doesn't have any musical aspirations, or they're not thinking, oh, goody, I get to write with a hit songwriter. I want somebody who just, has a story to tell, has something that's been troubling them, something on their heart, on their mind that they want to get out. That's where we do the most good, I believe. If you already have a guitar and you're already singing about your experience, then you're probably at least 3/4 of the way there, as far as being able to get stuff out of you and into music. So, we'll be going down to Fort Benning this weekend. We're going to do a retreat down there we got 10 veterans and active duty, and I think we have 2 World War II veterans, 2 kids of veterans, and then 3 or 4 active duty, male, female. It's a big, beautiful hodgepodge of everyone connected with the military, 50, 60 years ago or still in today, and we're going to come up with 10 brand new songs. If you happen to be in the Columbus, Georgia area, excuse me, at the Fort Benning Infantry Museum on Saturday night, Operation Song will be down there. And look it up on just Google Operation Song, Fort Benning Infantry Museum, and we're going to be putting on a performance of 10 brand new songs that did not exist. Saturday morning will be played live on Saturday night. So if you're down there, come on by and say hi.
Spanky said that she can't talk at the moment, but she is going to try to connect the two. Understand, I remember the interview, and this group, they're a nonprofit, and what they work at is getting veterans to just play instruments. In other words, guys who have never played an instrument.
Yep.
So it would, in other words, I kind of see the two balancing each other a little bit. Just my thought.
Yeah, we have there's a program in Nashville called SOAR, Sounds of Acoustic Recovery. Actually, it's up just an hour north of here, just outside of off base at Fort Campbell. They do the same thing, and they, guys come in, they get the guitar, they never learned how to play. You can go through a whole 6-week course without ever learning how to make a D chord, and that's not a problem. It's not about learning to play the instrument. It's about getting out of the house, sitting with your buddies, getting a sense of team, and just holding that guitar, which has been pointed out to me that we hold a guitar the same way you hold your weapon. That's a little something in between you and the world. And so, but there's a lot of wonderful programs. Anything to help, whatever works is my battle cry. If a veteran wants to write poetry, if they want to reach out to us, and if there's any way we can accommodate them and write a song, if they want to learn how to play guitar, piano, paint, whatever it takes to get whatever's inside of you, outside of you, into a different form as art, I think that's incredibly beneficial.
Well, I thank you very much for bringing this out. I mean, I couldn't hear all the songs, but what I've heard, I'm very impressed by. You've actually, I'm kind of the counselor in, I was a psychiatric specialist in the military. I'm now a shaman. I'm kind of the person who goes along and looks at different therapies. And I've always had a respect for for creativity. And yes, that's a very creative way of going about it. I am impressed with what I've heard, and I really thank you for being willing to come on and talk about it.
Well, happy to do it. I normally sit here in the studio at night, but I have my back turned towards the screen, working on songs, not with my back to the screen, talking to you on Skype. But I've been really happy to be here, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And for anyone that's out there listening, please look into Operation Song, operationsong.org. Our YouTube channel is YouTube.com/C/C Operation Song. There's a bunch of really compelling videos on there. Our SoundCloud link, and just listen to the songs. If you hear something you like, send it on to somebody you think that might benefit from hearing it.
So Bob, I need to ask your permission really quick. do we have your permission to play these songs on the air?
Yes, you do.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yes, but if you would, when you play them, just make sure to give us a shout out. And that's one thing I will say. All the veterans who write these songs, they want their songs heard.
Yeah.
So that's, yes, operationsong.org, not .com. .org is the nonprofit internet. So just so you know, I didn't know, but now I do, and now you do too.
Right? Yeah. Well, Bob, thank you so much for coming on tonight and talking to us about Operation Song and just giving us this glimpse into your world and, the songs that you guys create with these veterans.
Yeah, just listen to them, feel, and, we can do it again. If you ever want to have a couple of veterans on the program that have been through the program and play their songs and have them tell about their stories and the process of writing the song, that's really compelling. That's what I love doing about our performances. It's not we get up there and sing the songs. It's I'll bring the veteran up there to say, this my name is John Smith and I served in Iraq in 2006 and 2000, and this is what happened. And then this was when I met Operation Song. This is how the process went, and then we played the song. So that's a very, very compelling way to tell the story too.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we will definitely get you back on here. So we are gonna go to break really quickly. And I'm actually gonna continue to play some songs from Operation Song and while we're on break, and so Bob, if you could please just stick around for just a couple more minutes, that would be amazing. Everyone enjoy these songs from Operation Song.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you so much, Bob.
I went to see a battle buddy just the other day. Sadly, to say goodbye, we laid him in the grave. He won his battle on the field, but lost the one back home. With guilt and pills and pain, and lonely in his bones. On the news, they barely said his name. Just one more of those 22 a day. Is anybody listening? Does anybody care? Is anybody willing to send up a single prayer? They went to war for me and you. Ain't it the least that we can do to find a way to break this chain and put an end to 22 a day? 22 a day. I know the hell that he went through, 'cause I go there sometimes. When Daddy says I've changed, Mama looks at me and cries. At night in dreams when fallen brothers come alive again, I know I've got to live my life to try and honor them. So every morning I find another way not to be one of those 22 a day. Is anybody listening? Does anybody care? Is anybody willing to send up a single prayer? They went to war for me and you. Ain't it the least that we can do to find a way to break this chain and put an end to 22 a day? Oh God, is this all part of your plan? understand. Is anybody listening? Does anybody care? Is anybody willing to send up a single prayer? They went to war for me and you. Ain't it the least that we can do to find a way to break this awful chain and put an end to 22 a day? Let's put an end to 22 a day.
In 2006, Fallujah was a mess and going downhill. I was out of harm's way, living out my days in Knoxville. I wasn't big on making promises, but I made one to my wife that I'd join up and do my part and make it back alive. I didn't run from it, I ran to it. If it's gotta get done, I'll be the one to do it. Lord knows that I was scared, but I'd rather face them over there and have my grandkids face them over here. I didn't run from it, I ran to it. A lot of IEDs and rollovers later, I limped home from Iraq. But the man who made that promise, Lord knows he ain't the one who made it back. I told myself that I was fine, that I'd hear a sudden sound. And the next thing that I know, I'd be flat out on the ground.
I didn't ask for help at first, but what I wouldn't do for me, I did for her.
I didn't run from it, I ran to it. If it's gotta get done, I'll be the one to do it. Lord knows that I was scared of facing those nightmares. She and I both said a silent prayer. I didn't run from it, I ran to it. Then it was her turn to stand at death's door. And then it was my turn to help her fight a war. We didn't run from it, we ran to it. But both of us got tough, and we got through it. Lord knows that we were scared of facing those nightmares. But there was a better day waiting out there. We didn't run from it, we ran to it. We ran to it.
in the chow line, trying to get a bite to eat, or in that every other day shower where you never quite get clean, or on a phone call home, telling everything but the truth, or exhausted in your bunk, sleeping in your flight suit. But there's no rest for you. They're calling on the radio, medevac, medevac, that call me to the bone, medevac, medevac, someone's golden hour's begun. Get your gear on and run, get in the air, get there, get them back. I wish we could have brought them all back. Random memories they haunt me. A female soldier size 6 boot, a flag draped over a hero, and our double line salute. Then cleaning out that bird, restocking the supplies. There's no time to grieve, 'cause through the static on the line, they're calling on the radio, medevac, medevac, that call me to the bone, medevac, medevac, someone's golden hour's begun. Get your gear on and run, get in the air, get there, get them back. I wish we could have brought them all back. I still find innocence in this world, in my grandbaby girl. She's my lifeline, I hold her and I hold on. And on the wings of love, she flies me home. This song is for everyone who ever had that job and got it done. Got in the air, got there and brought them back. Yeah, I wish we could have brought them all back.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Welcome back, everybody, to part 3 of Tied Up Tuesday with me, Minx. Down there's Grey Cloud. He's back. And of course, we still have Owl and Spanky. Hello, you guys.
Hello.
I'm still super stoned off of narcotics, so I can't read still.
That's okay. We still love you.
Yeah. Like, I can't see. It's a good time.
Well, yeah, you're on Viking and Tens, so shit, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, I think I poured too much bourbon for my drink.
You're a good job.
That's okay.
So that means that I'm the only one who's not drunk or high.
Yes.
Hey, what's your deal with that? Seriously.
Right? Did you not get the memo to be on like this show? Like, you've got to be impaired in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. We're gonna have to work with you on that, brother. Seriously.
The unfortunate part is, if I were to drink, I would make Minx look like a choir girl.
You know what? I would almost take you up on that bet, but that would have to be like a retreat of some kind.
Right.
Show safe, and I'll say it. I'll leave it at that. Because I love you both so far.
Oh, that's right.
So far.
So far.
Oh, those are pretty flowers, by the way, Minx.
Thank you. A friend got them for me.
I was going to say secret admirer, one of the people in the room, or...
No secret admirers for this one. It doesn't happen.
Joe, why? Why would you type that, Joe? Seriously?
What did he say? I can't read.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
You're a dick, Joe. You're a dick.
Joe, I'm surprised you didn't Google it and copy paste. I'm just saying.
He probably did, fucker.
No, he said somebody might want to spell check it. No, I'm not doing that right now. That's too much work.
Right? It's too much work. Ugh.
And
but no, it was a great interview.
A big mean person.
Well, both of y'all were talking at the same time. What?
Okay, cause I am a big mean person. Don't let that person in the room tell you otherwise.
Hi, babies. Sorry, my dog came up to me and he's super soft right now.
Aw. Well, no, he's probably the same. It's just a different texture at the moment to you.
Oh my God, I've been in heaven all day. All 3 dogs have been so cuddly all day. It's been amazing.
All that fuzziness around you and colors and...
No. This is not ecstasy. Or shrooms, even, for that matter. Where I'm like, oh my God, colors.
Colors.
No. I'm on just regular narcotics. I'm just sleepy.
They're the best, and you'll sleep forever tomorrow. Watch.
Every time I blink my eyes, I don't know if you guys will have noticed, but when I blink, it's super slow motion.
It's all deliberate.
Yeah. I have to be and then I have to force my eyes back open.
I have to focus on blinking.
I can't do it.
So not gonna lie, I was falling asleep at my desk today. I think I read the same paragraph 4 or 5 different times.
Oh, poor gray cloud.
Yeah, I had the 1500 attack monster. Went and walked up and got me a new cup of coffee and powered out the day strong. Yeah. It was a rough afternoon. About 1500. My God, it was terrible. but no. What I was trying to say earlier is no, that was a great interview. Really powerful. A lot of the nation, obviously, as we saw in the chats and from our own emotions as we were talking amongst ourselves, in the fields. Bar none.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
When he sang, for me personally, I'll share with the nation that when he was singing the song live, which 1 was awesome. I don't think we've had that yet. And 2, it hit me personally when he hit the line about the chopper in Iraq. And that's all I'll reveal about that. It was very close. And man, like I said, songs will either tune everything out or bring it all back for you in a heartbeat. Yep. And either way is great therapy. And I think what they're doing is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, so, I agree. Like I told him, I have had to deal with therapy with veterans, and being able to get them to capture the moments and talk about them and it not only does it become their moment, but with this, I mean, it becomes everybody's moment.
Yep.
And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's not a bad thing to have that, and I know sometimes it brings up those emotions and it's hard to deal with, but just remember when you listen into this stuff, you can't let it overwhelm you. Just remember it's something that happened, and let it go, and it'll be okay. You're safe again.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. And what I like about it is, like you were saying, is that it does bring that, it allows you to remember, but it allows multiple connections throughout the community, throughout those individuals who might not have dealt with that exact same thing, but something similar. And that is powerful, and it allows everybody to connect. And that, again, I preach this all the time. Minx knows this. The community we have is larger than any, bar none. There's no larger community in the U.S. than the vets and active duties individuals who have served this nation. And if you can connect with the one vet who brings you back from that edge, or who can share that similar experience with you, or can understand what you're dealing with, with that empathy, you've made a huge breakthrough, and you're probably going to be not only yourself better off for it, but that individual will be better off for it as well.
Exactly.
But I digress. Let's go on to some fucked up news. I'm just saying, let's get to some other news. Because I know there's more shit out there that's going on.
I did see something that, okay, I don't know if I saw it today or if I saw it yesterday, or honestly when I saw it. I can't tell you when I saw it. But I do know I saw something about an actual survivor from the Parkland shooting. He's like I think it was the last kid in the hospital who got injured. He was on life support, and he's finally woke up, and he had something to say about how he's not blaming the weapon. He's blaming the powers that be that fucked up and did not do their jobs, i.e. the police station and the FBI. And he's wondering why it got to the point, this kid had been reported multiple times. Why is it all these organizations dropped the ball? Why is it that we aren't hearing from the actual survivors, like the kids who got injured in this attack? And why are we still paying attention to these 5 select crisis actors? I mean, teenagers. Sorry, it slipped out.
Oh, wow. Wow. I really didn't want to go in a tinfoil hat tonight. But makes you bring up a great point. Seriously. That's there for everybody's on everybody's mind, I think, but they don't want to send it because they don't want to offend anybody, which really fucking pisses me off, right? Who have we heard from? We've heard from David Hogg. We've heard from fucking the Cuban lady, kid, whatever you want to fucking call her. But we haven't heard from anybody who is actually
an actual victim.
Okay, you can say everybody at school is a victim. Got it. You throw that blanket on them because they were there when it happened. They were in the school.
Not David. Hold on. Not according to David's second statement where he's like, oh my God, I pedaled my little bike 3 miles and I got there within 3 minutes.
We are not covering that right now.
Pedal.
hold on. Let me do this quick. Man, we're not covering that right now. We have not, and that's a good point, is we have not actually heard from anybody who's a true victim of the incident, right?
Yeah.
Now, I got it. There's a lot of, from what I've done and whatnot, there's a lot of protections that go along with those individuals. There are a lot of taboos that you don't want to engage those individuals right away.
Yes.
But what I would like to see is when they are ready, okay, when they are capable of coming forward, give them free reign to discuss whatever they want to discuss. Because those individuals will have a better impact and a greater impact, I would hope, than those that are speaking on their behalf. And for fuck's sake, I would hope that their opinion would carry more weight than those individuals that were not actually engaged.
You would hope, at least.
You would hope, and the greatest meme out there, is, I don't know anybody who's ready to stare down an M16 or an AR-15, whatever you call it. Really? That's great, guy. I don't know personally, but I know there were 18 and 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds in some cases that were staring down MG42s.
Yeah, I know which I see a lot of memes just along like that.
So.
Well, not even that. No, dude, there were kids younger than that signing up for World War I, World War II. There were kids in who were 12, 13 who were forging their birth certificates so they could go fight.
They're ready to go for the greater good.
Yeah.
Right? Don't come with this fucking garbage that I don't know anybody who could want to face that, or who's ever faced that down. Motherfucker, I'm sorry. An MG42, if you've never heard of one, sounds pretty fucking intimidating. Let's be real. The Germans make some fucking kick-ass shit. End of story. Now, with that being said, again, I would like to hear from those individuals when they are good and ready to come forward. Don't force them. Don't try to, spin the narrative for them. Let them come forward when they are ready. And when they are good and ready, let's hear them out. No matter what side of the spectrum they fall on. Got it? Because they could fall on either side of it from this point forward. But hear them fucking out.
It's the way it should have been in the first place. It's exactly the way it should have been in the first place. We shouldn't have been, like Mick said, these actors, we should have been going, okay, you know what? Let's pull back. Let's give everybody a chance to recover. And then let's really, if we're going to focus on kids, let's focus on the ones that actually had to deal with it.
Yep. Agreed. 100% agreed. And right. And that's, I got it. And that'll be, Lord only knows when that day will come, but I hope it comes quickly. I truly do hope that day comes quickly because it needs to happen.
Well, from experience, something like this, normally it's going to take at least 3 or 4 months to digest. And even the parents have to feel comfortable because it's not just the kids. The parents are shook up too.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed.
So again, like you said, this one kid woke up and he voiced out, okay, that's just the start. Give it another month or so, and there's going to be some pile on from the other kids, probably who were intimidated by the whole actor crap.
Right.
And now they can say, well, here's, my, this is more where I feel. And instead of feeling the intimidation of all these school walkouts and everybody, let's rally behind. And it's like, if you're a kid and you were one of the victims who got hurt or were actually engaged in this whole thing, would you really want to sit there and try to voice up against it?
That's a good point. Do you think, as of right now, I don't think any of them are ready to even try to comprehend that or try to put that together for themselves. But beyond that, do you think they might be trying to coerced and or intimidated even to feel and or think a certain way?
Oh, I think that's already been happening. Okay, unless their parents have pulled them out of school, they're still going to school. And if they've pulled them out of school, there's going to be, they still talk. There's social media. There's so many things. And yeah, do I think they're going to be coerced? I know they're going to be coerced to either engage on the party line of these kids or to shut up.
Right. And we've seen that already with one individual who wants to side with the Second Amendment supporters. We've already seen that happen.
Exactly. There were already some kids when it first happened. There were a couple kids that tried to capture a little bit of news media, and what little they got was just that. Just a little. And you have to wonder what happened to those kids.
I don't think anything happened to them like physically or whatnot, but I think they got pushed out, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. And
Like,
that's
shoved
just
aside.
it. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I think they got shoved aside because it wasn't fitting the narrative and it wasn't glamorous enough for them.
Oh, no. And the kids weren't glamorous. They weren't sitting there beating things. They weren't showing their fists. They weren't gritting their teeth. They weren't doing the Heil Hitler sign. They were kids.
Yep.
Wearing T-shirts, looking like kids. They didn't have the Sinead O'Connor haircut.
Sorry.
They were actually the normal kid. I mean, that if you look at these kids that they've been putting out in front, is that really what you think a normal kid in high school looks like? No, that's the fringe. And I not to be mean, because every kid wants to be an individual, but most of these kids have parents that sit there and go, "Oh, hell no, you're not going to school that way."
Yep.
So
no. I
Go ahead.
agree. So,
and that's where I'm going. That's what I feel. I feel you're right. I think probably as time goes, okay, one kid just woke up and he's voiced his opinion. Let's see how many other kids are willing to come out of the woodwork, and let's see if they even get covered.
I think if we can we'll get there. I truly believe that it'll get there. But it goes back to what we were talking about in the first hour, is that it may take something as much as a brand new platform being stood up to cover that. It truly may take that.
Well, yeah, and here's an idea, and if any of those kids are listening, who knows, or any of the parents listening, there's a thing called YouTube. And there's a thing called Facebook Live. You have the right to put your opinion out there, kids.
Right, but we see that being crushed, and I don't want to divulge into that because there's another story I want to cover here in the last half hour. But it's being crushed, and we know it's being crushed, and that's really scary. So, Nation, if you're listening, if you know people, and if you want to get your voice out there, if you think it's that important, by God, again, stand together, band up. We are more powerful than the government, and that's what scares the government, right? Your vote is powerful. If people actually knew that, if people could actually read what it takes to change the government, the people would be actually unstoppable. Recall elections can happen. You know what's great about a recall election? It doesn't allow the senator or representative to resign, and then the people, not the governor, gets to vote on who replaces that individual. Okay? Because if a senator or a representative resigns, the governor gets to handpick who they want. If you do a recall election, it's up to the people to decide who's worthy of that seat. And that's why I bitch all the time and preach to the nation, be aware of what's going on. Be smart on all these laws and regulations and U.S. code on what it takes. For Christ's sake, we're gonna have to save our own nation. And I don't know the exact quote, but Thomas Jefferson said it best. Sometimes it takes blood to give birth to the tree of liberty. And by God, I hope it doesn't come to that.
Amen. I agree with you.
But for fuck's sake, nation, be ready and be smart on these laws and regulations and U.S. code. Make it happen. If you are not happy with the way it is going, do something. Either run yourself or get out there and vote or stand up for what you feel is right. And if you stand up for what you feel is right, you cannot be judged by anybody. Because it's what you truly believe in your heart, you truly believe in your soul, and you truly believe what you swore an oath to of some sort. Make it happen. End of story.
Rant 1.
I was gonna say, God damn it, Owl, why'd you get him on a goddamn rant?
That's the only one tonight, at least. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Change gears.
No.
Because I gotta change gears.
Did you put the clutch in first?
Of course.
Well, I don't know.
Manual is my go-to. Shit. Now, nation, if you are not tracking, there's some serious shit going on in the world.
Oh. Oh, like in Syria?
Like in Syria. Wow, look at that. So there is a alleged gassing.
Right. Assad allegedly used chemical weapons on his own people.
Right.
Which is kind of a big no-no.
Right, and it's being investigated by the UN, and let's face it, the UN is
garbage.
Kindergarten cop.
It's the Kardashian equivalent of relevancy.
I don't know what that means.
So the UN is sending a fact-finding team to figure this out. But what I find very interesting about this
is Nikki Haley part of this fact-finding team?
She is not.
Then
but
I
if
don't trust
she was, there would probably be an ass kicking or two on the ground. Just saying.
Yeah. No, that's why I want her on the team.
But so what I find interesting about all this, and now I'd like to hear your opinion on this, is that the UN Security Council, which the U.S., the two key players about all this is the U.S. and Russia are permanent members of the UN Security Council.
Yes.
The UN Security Council proposed a resolution about this, and Russia, as a permanent member, used its veto to reject the resolution, i.e. killing it. I find that very interesting.
I find it obvious.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I mean, everybody, come on. Russia has boots on the ground. Even if Russia wasn't happy with Assad doing it, they're not going to condemn it because they're in for, they're in for the big play. They want their Middle East placehold, and that's all they care about. Russia, oh come on, I'm Cold War, okay? Russia has no conscience when it comes to what they want. They want it. They will step on you to get it. And because Putin is old school KGB, okay, everybody gave, everybody gave, what's the guy who ran against Obama back in 20 whatever?
I know what you're talking about. When he said Russia was going to be a threat we will face in the future.
There you go. Okay. A lot of people sat there and laughed at him. Anybody who was a part of the Cold War wasn't. Because everybody knows that as soon as Putin came along, he was bringing the old regime back. They have always wanted a place in the Middle East.
They do.
This is what they're doing. And to sit there and go, oh no, Russia is no, this was very predictable. Russia wants us out of there. Russia is trying to intimidate us. We've already had battles with them, even though it was mercs. We've already fought them. Okay? The shit's going on already, people. The only thing that hasn't truly gone far is we haven't declared war against Russia. But we're there. It's an outpost thing. In other words, it's a little bit of our group and a little bit of their group, and we're kind of back in different groups. Russia doesn't care as long as they get their foothold. And until you get that in your head and sit there and go, okay, what do you really want to do about it? You're dreaming.
Right. So here's my thing on that is, so we use the Middle East. I mean, we have a base in Qatar and a couple other places like UAE and whatnot as a launching point for the Middle East itself, because that's who we are. It's interesting that Russia would want a launching pad somewhere in the Middle East, because you don't really think of them about them being a key player in that region.
No. They want
with all
to be.
the natural resources that they personally have. Now, I got it. You know, you can talk about oil and all this other shit on why we have interest there and all that other stuff. But it's a launching pad for us to get to other parts of the world. But with Russia itself and the land mass that it covers, you don't see them really needing a launching pad in the Middle East.
I don't know that it's about the launching pad. It's about the economics. It always has been.
You think so?
I mean, he who controls the monetary system controls.
Yeah.
And Russia is about absolute power. So, again, what is he putting in there? Okay, he's got his own oil, and everybody knows this. But if he can control and cause chaos and make the market really wonky, what's that make his oil?
Worth more.
Exactly, because he doesn't have the chaos. You can guarantee his oil is going to be there on time.
Yep. And it's coming from a quote unquote stable environment, if you want to call it that. But so here's my thing on this is that with all this going on, so we have the Syrian conflict, tensions with Russia, tensions with China, the peninsula issue. And I'll throw this out there. With all this stuff going on, should the nation be concerned of a conflict kicking off shortly? I mean, I got it. There are things that are, it's been more than 48 hours, I think, when Trump threw out his issue of something that's going to happen. But do you think we could be involved in something within the week or 30 days?
Okay. I'll answer that with an observation. Something I saw on news before I came to my little domain. Trump canceled his travel arrangements.
Yeah. So did Mattis.
And okay, to think that through, we know that he's at least going to do something in retaliation for the gassing.
Right.
Okay, so how that's going to pan out, Russia doesn't necessarily want to play with us. They'd rather just play on the fringes like they have been. So I don't know that that's going to be. I think he would even keep Assad from going directly at us, just because at that point that would mean he'd have to commit. And again, he doesn't mind a good fight, but I think at this point even he's got to realize that would be something that is not in his best interest, financially or economically.
Mm-hmm.
But there's enough going on and there's enough instability. Do I think it's going to be in the next week or 30 days that something happens? I think we've got enough, like you said, fires, enough fires going on. I think we're going to end up at some point in the in the next month or two, I think we're going to end up having to flex our muscles, and not just in a little way. I don't know if it's going to be a war because we're showing that we're big boys again.
Right.
And
we don't have the troops though to back that shit up.
Well, but how many people don't? But how many believe that we don't?
No, I mean, and what I mean though is our troop discipline.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but at the same time, even a minor conflict would probably cut that shit out quickly. And that comes from me being a part of the Gulf War, the first Desert Storm. You saw the discipline change.
Right.
And so I think we're in a position enough to where if it happens, it's going to be a minor conflict. Because we've got enough going on to where people really don't, I think at this point, want to push that far. But they're going to test us. This is, again, Trump's only been in office for a little over a year. Right. And for the time before that, we were basically...
laughing stock?
That's a good way to put it, Minx.
We were the laughing stocks. Okay, so everybody's saying, are you really that bold? Well, okay, yeah, it's going to happen. We're going to have to do something to prove it.
So let me ask you this, and as we're running out of time here, I know I'm pretty sure Isaac's going to cover this on Thursday. Russia, fearing retaliation, jamming U.S. drones in Syria, officials say. This story comes from Haaretz News. There's a lot of other stuff. So my question is, if Russia is allegedly jamming our drones, do you think Russia, if we launched some kind of, I don't know, Tomahawk cruise missile attack at Syrian targets, would Russia look to intercept those missiles with their, ADA technology, if they have any? What would that do to set up the world stage?
You're asking really complicated questions, and I'm not cognitively here to form a response.
Well, do you want me to answer that, or you want to tell him to stop it?
I'll stop. Okay, hold. Let's change that. We'll save that for another time. So here's my thing. Another quick question about the whole Trump thing, because Trump's been in the news from day one that he took office, obviously.
Obvious.
Do you really think the Stormy Daniels thing is going to affect any other part of the investigation?
No.
Oh, hell no. They're wanted to. They're trying their hardest to get something to get Trump to come in. If you think about it, what that raid on his lawyer's office, what do you think they're really trying to do?
I really think that has something to got it. They raided his office, his lawyer's office. Okay. What have they actually proved that ties collusion? You know what? He slept, allegedly he slept with a porn star. Whoop de fucking do.
Yeah,
Allegedly he paid her money.
In 2006, when he was a private citizen.
Private citizen Trump slept with a porn star and then paid her to shut up about it. Whoop de fucking do.
Which, let's face it, nobody gives a shit because that's what big time people do.
Nobody should give a shit.
Looking at you, Kobe.
But it's a 24-hour news cycle that's fucking the shit up.
It's like he was a private citizen who was not in the public eye because he was a politician. He was in the public eye because he was a celebrity.
Right.
Exactly.
Celebrities have, this pattern of, especially if they are billionaires, where they go and fuck whatever they want because they fucking can, because these bimbos out here, these fucking bunnies are out here and they're letting them.
Exactly.
And so, but now that he's, the president, now it's an issue.
Well, and here's the thought for you.
Dick.
And what you were applying to Gray Cloud, it goes to this. What do they have to gain by following this train of thought?
Nothing.
And this is the Mueller investigation. What do they have to gain by following this thought, raiding a private attorney's office? What has that done? And beyond it, and you have to really think about how screwed up is this to get an interesting answer.
I don't want to go there because I know the tinfoil hat theory is going to take us down a dark rabbit hole, and we don't have time for that. But I'll leave that for Minx on Friday Night Freedom to run down that rabbit hole with. Well, I truly think that they're just looking for something to try and kick over a rock or something to try and get a gotcha moment on. And that's when you hear all these pundits and all these experts or whatever that are chiming in about it, is they don't want him to say anything without either a lawyer present or just to ignore meeting with Mueller altogether, which is, a great move, and just let them speculate. Got it, right? Because let's face it, everything that, we've already got convictions already, right? What were the convictions for? Nothing that is tying a collusion, quote unquote, piece to the Trump campaign, the POTUS himself, and the Russians, right? That's what they're reaching for.
See, here's my thought on that. Okay, go with that thought. Right now, they have nothing. They've gone nowhere. How? And their investigation is basically at a standstill. So what can they do to make everybody inflamed? Simple. Get themselves fired.
Right. You kick it all up. And that's that's one of the leading stories I was on today is that, hold on, let me see what, I think I closed it out, but CNN had something that is that, Trump's looking to fire whomever.
Exactly.
You know what? Got it. Trump is firing everybody. Who the fuck cares? Oh, it's so much in turmoil. Really? The POTUS is still the POTUS and the VP is still the VP. Right? Got it.
Exactly.
That's who's running the nation. End of story. He can hire whoever the hell he wants.
I think it's refreshing how often his cabinet has changed.
Yeah. it's awesome to watch the mainstream media like explode with, oh my God, so and so got fired. Well, obviously they sucked.
Yeah, and I think that he's doing exactly what he should be doing. Is if his cabinet members are not performing to the standard, he's getting rid of them. And that's exactly what should be happening. That's exactly what every other president before him should have done.
Oh, and here's the great thing, is that they're appointed by the president. So guess what? If the president doesn't like you, duck it.
He has every right. Well, what I was trying to bring up was with Mueller, if he gets fired, which is what everybody's starting to imply might happen, that will actually inflame and possibly kick up the base of the liberals. And wouldn't that be a crafty way to kick them up?
Oh my God, it'd be hilarious. Oh, then everybody starts screaming constitutional crisis. You have to impeach him for what? Firing somebody?
And that. Okay. So if you can't get him on Russia, what better way than to get everybody going? You need to go vote. Again, we're at midterms.
Yep, we are at the midterms.
So that was just my thought. Is that's a crafty way, since nothing's been able to stick on him, to stick it to him.
Oh my God. Oh. Whew. God.
I may be old, but I still got some good ideas.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh! Here you go. We'll leave this last thought with the nation and the tinfoil hat part of the nation as well. So midterms come, right? So November happens. Okay. Fire everybody in your cabinet. Okay. And then you appoint all these people, right? They have to go through the whatever it is, the confirmation hearings again, right? And then you blame the Congress again for holding up the confirmation hearings. Oh my God. It's so brilliant.
It's probably what's going to happen.
Oh my God, that's so brilliant.
This is all chess. And you got to think, okay, like ICE has been saying, either Trump is truly the most lucky man in the world, or he's goddamn smart.
Well, he's fucking brilliant. Let's not beat around the bush. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a combination of the two.
He's playing a game of chess that is way far above where people are thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
So that's kind of the way I've been looking at it.
Yep.
Great Cloud.
Yes.
If you would be so kind as to read our upcoming guests, because it's that time.
Is it that? Wow. Holy cow. This is a fast night tonight. That's awesome. All right. I'll start with some housekeeping. Nation, as you know, we have a show almost every night of the week. We'll start off with Tuesday, which is Tied Up Tuesday with myself and the lovely Minx, who is always awesome and is recovering tonight, as you can see. Wednesday is our Donza. Haha, Spinky. We usually do some fun things for ourselves amongst the team. Thursday is Sergeant's Time with Ice and the gang from the main page. And then Friday, we roll into Friday Night Freedom with Minx and Pookie. And they cover all kinds of various topics. And while we're on Friday, we'll talk about that guest. Friday, April 13th.
Mother of God.
Olhansky, a.k.a. Rabbit from Super Troopers, will be on with them. So tune in for Friday, April 13th. Again, that's Friday the 13th. Just FYI, stay at home, hunker down, and listen to an awesome show. And then we roll into Saturday with Saturday Night Savagery, and that is Jay Reddy and Pookie. And they are talking all things. And there should probably be some more tinfoil hat theories kicked around.
Hell yeah.
You always know there will be tinfoil hat theories kicked around. And then we roll into Sunday, and that's Kicking It with Cause. And is that Owl as well on there?
That's Owl.
Oh my goodness, it's Cause and Al, Kicking It with Cause, and Al is on his co-host on Sundays. Monday is the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. And they are covering current events and things that affect veterans and the active duty community. And they've always got good stories. And if they usually cover stuff that doesn't cover throughout the week, or if we miss something, or if Ice has got a special story hidden in his bag of tricks to come up. And then we roll into Tuesday again with us. And that's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is April 17th. Is that right?
Yes.
Holy, yes, it is. And we have a guest as well, and that's Tori Willatson from Dogs to Dog Tags. Tori has over 20 years of civilian and military dog training experience and a passion for training both dogs and dog handlers for service. He has helped many of his handlers to adopt their dogs. Tori's knowledge and deep understanding of how canines can help cope with stress guides this organization and promises to help at-risk veterans recover from PTSD. So join us next Tuesday for that, for Tori Willatson from Dogs to Dog Tags. And then our next guest after that is Tuesday the 20th. Wow, we have got an awesome lineup coming up for us on our show.
Kind of awesome.
The 24th, we have Dom from Guardians of Green Beret.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that'll be a good show as well. And we'll cover the aspects of that next week. But that's our lineup, ladies and gentlemen of the nation. Minx, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I don't know. I had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time. I'm sorry I've been so out of it. You know, my last two shows. I'm here though.
Yes, you are, and that's the important part.
And you are entertaining.
God, I'm fucking retarded. But all right, y'all, we are gonna head on out of here. So stay safe. Everyone have a great rest of your week, and we will see you. Wait for it. There we go. We'll see you Thursday. So have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
Shots, Nation.
Spent my life in the mountains of East Tennessee. Days on the farm, it just comes naturally. Daylight to dark is not for the typical man. Just a backwoods country boy, proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Well, this is my rifle, this is my gun. Let's get 'em, boys, come on and get you some. Let's get you some. And I'll fire all my rounds down range till the enemy hits the sand. Yes, sir, I knew exactly what I was doing when I swore to Uncle Sam. If you don't like the way I'm living, just remember that it's for you. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun for the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Pack my bags, headed out to the big sandbox. Just some good old boys and me, some made some night. Well, the price of freedom, son, it don't come free. I guess that's why the good Lord chose me. This here's my rifle.